Okay, is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, in the last class, we discussed about uh, various product development processes, and we have discussed about five methods which the product development is taking place, and five of that was conception, acceptance, execution, translation, and then pre-productions. So these were the product development processes that took place before a product was formed. So next we are going to look at prototypes. So we are going to study three topics: prototypes, then comes rapid prototyping, then production planning, and then testing. Okay, these are the topics I'll be handling today. So what are basically prototypes? So it's said here. Okay. Prototypes are a model of a system or a component built for the purpose of demonstrating performance and functionality. So these come under prototypes come under pre-production product development process. So it comes under pre-production development process, and the prototypes are nothing but they are a model of the original product to be created. So it can be a clay model, it can be the original product, but it is not refined, it is made as a raw product, and then we are carrying out various test aging test, etc., are done, and once every issues are solved, only then the final product will be released. So if you look at this figure shown here, you can see various prototypes here. So this is one prototypes, and we are finishing uh, it in various stages. So these are all prototypes here, and these prototypes are then used for building the original design or the original product. So it is the design verification phase of the product development cycle used to demonstrate or prove the aspect of a design. So we are in product development process. First, we had identified the problem or the problem for which we have to solve the particular issue. So various problems are collected, and then we are going to design a product based on the function it has to perform. And for that function, we are building a prototype, and that prototype will determine if the function is being solved. So a prototype is coming under the design verification phase or the pre-production development process. So that is how prototype are coming under pre-production development cycle, and then prototypes are built according to early specification and design. So early specification and design were done based on the consumer need or the consumer demand, and we are identifying the problem and then designing it. So the specification for the particular design or particular product is already mentioned as in the problem statement, and then we are building the sufficient or the prototype accordingly. Now, what is the need for prototype tests? So we are using prototypes, and what is the need for using prototype? Why don't we go directly to the product? So prototype test enable ideas to be tested through trial and error methods so that design can be corrected in the early stages of design. So first you are designing on the basis of a computer or on basis of a drawing, and after that we have to create the set drawing or design, and various prototypes are created based on that design, and each time a prototype is destroyed, another one is created, improving the defects found in the first one or the previous one. So this goes on with the consecutive trial and error method. So in a trial and error method, when we are using one prototype, once it fails, we are using another one, then another one. So it goes on until the satisfactory result or the function is met by the product. So for that purpose, by through the process of trial and error method, we are testing the prototype based on the ideas obtained from the previous prototype test. So once a test is done, we are observing the result and we are checking if it is working for the specific function under a specific time. So various objects are present for a long time run equipments, okay, for such as tools are all long time. Once we are using it, it shouldn't break under any pressure or weather or even during time. So during time, you know that there is iron content inside the tools, so this iron can rust, and once it rust, the deformity or the strength of the set tool will reduce because of this rust. So we have to prevent that. For that, we are providing a coating of stainless steel or various other coatings, and for that purpose, the tools are specifically made for aging purpose or for weather conditions. So in a atmosphere like Kerala, where there is moisture content completely in the atmosphere, iron rust easily. So to prevent that, we are coating said say stainless steel or etc. for preventing the iron material to rust under our weather conditions. So for that, prototypes are done and various tests are conducted. Some may be within a duration of time, some may be rapid test. So these can happen very fast. So these are all coming under prototype test. So a prototype is needed for producing the finished product or the final product on basis of the defects found in prototypes. So that is why first point, prototypes are done. Then next is prototype test helps to detect errors while interpreting engineering drawings. So in drawings, we are only drawing how to design the set product. So a product such as a nail and all, we are drawing various views. So you have studied machine drawing and you have done CAD lab and all. And in those lab or in those drawings, you have only studied about the designing phase of a product. So you are designing it. You are not doing any test on it or any analysis on it based on how much stress or how much strain or how much it can be deformed, how much it will fracture, etc. So these are coming under prototype test. So we are drawing set object and then we are building it. Okay, and we are using various materials. Maybe it may be materials, maybe it may be dimensions, maybe it may be the coating provided, or it may be two or more components, maybe alloys, etc. So these are all found out by various prototype testing. So these drawings are converted into a prototype, and this prototype is then tested. So if it is not up to the set dimension, we have to change the drawing. So for that, various dimensions will change, and for that purpose, we are changing the engineering drawing, and then again, with based on that engineering drawing, we are then designing another prototype and looking for sufficient strength or sufficient factors that need to make the product run in the market. Okay, that is why next point that is coming under prototype test. Then next is prototype test helps to develop procedures for the products to be manufactured. So various products are there. Common products has a specific technique or various steps that has to be carried for building the product. Okay, so when testing the prototypes, we have to finally we have to produce the product at a larger scale, or mass production of the product has to be done. And for that purpose, each time a prototype is made, we are studying how we can make it better, or how we can build it much faster, so as to produce the product at a faster rate than to meet up with the demand of the consumer. So a consumer must require that product at a specific time, and to meet that time, we are studying how fast we can uh, build this set product and distribute it to the market. So each time a prototype is made, we are studying the methods through it is made, and another department determines, or an industrial engineer determines which methods should be used for faster production of the prototype or the product. Okay, that is another need for the prototype test. Then comes prototype tests are used to demonstrate new product to the customers. So for beta versions, so you have heard of beta versions, that is the product is designed for a specific number of consumers, and then based on their output, we are um, studying the defects and then finishing the final product. And for that purpose, prototype tests are also done on customers itself. So that is also a prototype, giving beta version or the beta component to the consumer, set consumers uh, are done for prototype test. So they also come under prototype test or under pre-production development design. Okay. Next, under prototype testing, there is another category that is called rapid prototyping. So, what is the rapid prototyping? Okay, in general prototypes, you have to manufacture a specific component like this. Okay, you have to manufacture specific components, and when you are manufacturing the components, it takes some time to manufacture it. Maybe this is a plastic, the plastic has to be poured inside a die, and after pouring it, it has to cool for some time to attain this rigid body. Okay, it has to cool down, and it takes sufficient time. So in the industrial world, for that purpose, time is valuable. Okay, time is very valuable, so as we can't waste much of it. So for that purpose, we are using rapid prototyping. And what is rapid prototyping is nothing but it is the designing and implementing of the product in softwares. Okay, we are building the product in a software, and this software handles the primary results, or the primary test to be done in a prototype. So as we are using various softwares like ANSYS, and we are designing the products or the prototypes in AutoCAD. So you have studied AutoCAD, and or any other softwares related to AutoCAD. We are designing the object or the prototype, and then sufficient tests such as stress or strain or the force under it will break, its tensile strength, compressive strength, the load it can handle. So various tests can be done by various softwares. One of such softwares is ANSYS, and you can find it in online, what is ANSYS and what are the tests that can be conducted. So basics tests can be done in a prototype using the softwares. So the softwares are much more faster. So you don't have to make the product itself, but the prototype can be tested by the design itself, and you can generate the design. Okay, that is what is the ability of a 3D model testing software. And once the 3D model is rendered, the testing can be done, and we will get primary results. And based on these results, you can improve the design and then bring out the prototype itself. Okay, you can bring out the product, finalize the product, but you can bring out the prototype, and you can reduce the number of prototypes you can use for the trial and error method, rather than first we are creating the prototype. Okay, that is what is known as rapid prototyping. Next, so you can see it is simple and inexpensive to product. Okay, one of the application of rapid prototyping is that after we are creating, or after we are doing the test in simulations, or we are conducting simulations in various softwares, we are then producing it under a 3D printer. Okay, this is what is known as a 3D printer. You can see it here, and this can easily create the prototype at a faster rate rather than the production or the manufacturing equipments that we use for producing these products. So a 3D printer immediately prints the set design, and then we can test it on basis of the material that is used here in 3D printing. Okay, this is one of the techniques that is employed for prototype testing. So this comes under rapid prototype testing. Okay. Next is production planning. So, what is production planning and why do we need production planning? So, from the word itself, you can understand that production planning is nothing but we are planning how to produce the product ahead of the product manufacturing cycle. So, we have to create the product, and we are planning how fast the product has to be created, how much product has to be created, and how should the inventory be stocked up with the product, and then from the inventory how much product should go on a daily basis or a monthly basis. So we are studying these all, or these all comes under production planning. So it is concerned with deciding in advance what is to be produced, when to be produced, where to be produced, and how to be produced. So there are four factors. What is to be produced? So what you have to produce, then when to be produced, when you have to produce it, and where to be produced. Where should we produce it and keep it in the inventory, or produce it and immediately send it to the market? So where to be produced and how to be produced. How should be? What are the steps to ensure the production process? So these are all coming under production planning, and it involves foreseeing every step in the process of production so as to avoid all difficulties and inefficiency in the operation of the plant. Okay, so when you are creating an industrial plant, or once an industrial plant is set up, various departments handle various jobs to finish a particular product itself. So one department uh, may deal with the designing of the product. One may be dealing with the prototype testing. One may deal with the pre-production development. Then one will be production management. Product after the production, then comes the inventory storage. Then from there to while by transportation to the markets. So these are the cycle of a product, and for that we have to first plan several factors so as to keep up the running. So there will be a demand of on the product from the customer, and we have to keep up the demand, and for that we have to produce the said product at that particular time so as to keep up with the demand. And for that cycle to continue, we are creating a various departments, and we are allotting certain types to time to the certain departments so that we will keep producing the product under the limit. And for that purpose we have to plan ahead so as to produce the product. Then production planning determines the requirements for material. So it will, once you are doing the planning, we will understand how much materials are required for producing the product, then the machinery and manpower to be established for producing the product, then the sequence of operations for each individual item. So a product may have one item or it will be a combination of many items. So each and every item has to be produced and then assembled at a certain point. And for that, there will be a sequence of operations. So first, which operation should be carried out. After that, which, and certain operations are carried, and for each individual item, and lays down the time schedule for its completion. So when we are planning, we will know how much days or how much hours or how much month it will take for creating a product. Okay, we will get the time schedule for its completion. So once you have done a production planning, we will get the time schedule for its completion. Okay, then what are the objectives of production planning? First is to determine the capacity of all manufacturing departments and to plan systematically the production related activities within the scope of the enterprise to meet sales requirement. So sales requirement is what I have said as the demand of the customer. So according to the demand, we have to determine the capacity of manufacturing departments to plan systematically the production related activities. We have to plan the production related activities according to the demand, and for that purpose we are determining the capacity of all manufacturing departments. So the manufacturing departments will be the designing department, the prototype testing department, the production department, inventory control. These are all coming under manufacturing departments. Okay, then to translate orders received from the sales department into orders from the work department and to ensure steady plans of production activities. So from the sales department, we are receiving the order. We have to supply this much product, or we have to make this much product, and with that demand, we are creating various production activities, and a steady flow of these production activities ensures the steady flow or the production of the set product. Then, to find ways and means through which product manufacturing requirements such as materials and their necessary constants may be available in a right quality and quantity at the right time. So it must be available at the right time, and according to the demand or according to the function it has to serve, a right quality must be utilized for producing the product, and according to the demand a right quantity is fixed for supply of the product to the market. Okay, next is to coordinate several different department groups so that a fine balance of activities may be maintained. So each departments may contain various individuals uh, under those departments, and once one department starts, and then only the other department can take. So if we are starting with the design, then after that only we can start the prototype testing. So there is sufficient time for this, and after that, if you want to once that cycle is run, then after the prototype testing we are finalizing the product and then we are mass producing it. Okay, and from one department to another, if we are moving it from one department to another, there is sufficient lag, and to reduce this lag we are planning the production process ahead so as to reduce this plan, and various activities that has to be done will be planned ahead so as to reduce the time or the lag that is created between each department. So we are coordinating the different department groups for the balance of activities. Then to promote full utilization of the plant. So various machineries or equipments must be required, or various um, departments are present inside the plants, and in the production department itself there will be various equipments present, and we have to utilize each and every equipment for producing the products. So we are utilizing the plants full capability to promote the production of the products. Then to train the staff to have effective performance on their duties. So if you are getting effective performance, only then we will get the quantity, the right quantity, the right quality at the right time. And for that purpose, we are training the staff to work for such hours or replace the said worker at the said time so as to complete the production process at the right time. Okay, so these are all the objectives of production planning. And last comes the testing. So what is the need for testing? We are dealing with the testing so as to understand how the product fails or how much longer it can stays, or based on that we can redesign the product for specific functions. So basically there are two types of testing. One is material testing and one is life testing. So under material testing, we are looking for stresses, deformation, and permissible limits of the objects. So we will be doing various. So you can see here itself the material that is provided here is pulled apart to find where it will break. So under what load it can break, that is what we are testing here. And we can look for deformation. So if you are bending it, you can see various deformations, or we are twisting it and you can see deformations, and when the fracture can occur. So these are all coming under material testing. We are looking for the load it can handle. Okay, these all come under material testing. So we are doing the testing on the material itself. Okay, and there are basically two categories. One is known as destructive testing method and another is known as non destructive testing method. So these both testing methods come under material testing. And the last one is the life testing. Okay, what is life testing is nothing but we are carrying out life testing to find out the useful working life of a product. So every product on multiple operations can become old, or it will be failed. It will fail under after a particular time. So we have to find out the time it fails so as to determine. So some okay, we know the keyboards of a laptop or a computer itself, and they will run various operations. So one operation may be the typing of the keys. So they may say that after 10,000 cycles, or after um, 50,000 cycles of using the keyboard can fail. So that is done under time operations. So live, that is known as life testing. So under life testing, three categories are there. One is burn-in testing. The name itself, you can understand that it is nothing but the burning. We are burning the equipment, and what happens when it catches fire. So if you want a flame proof equipment, we have to design it in such a way that it must not be affected by burning. Okay, and nowadays we know that in mobile phones and all there is waterproof features. Okay, in coming generations there is waterproof features. So for testing that, they are putting the mobile phone in the water and testing it how long, if any water can penetrate. So it may take some time. Okay, and these all come under burn-in testing. So we are destroying the product by burning or any other load testing and all. It comes under burn-in testing. So under life, what happens? Okay, in life, in a real life, what is going to happen? The test under actual working conditions. So this is a time-consuming process where the product is tested under consumer conditions. So in a consumer conditions, it is being used in real life, and how long the product can be used or how long it is used all comes under actual working conditions. So the actual working conditions are created, or we are using it, that can be coming under the beta versions used by the customers. These all comes under test under actual working conditions. So that is why for each and every product there is sufficient delay for introducing it into the market, because we have to understand how it may fail, or we have to understand the defects during actual working conditions. And the last life testing is accelerated life testing. So what happens in an accelerated life testing? So I have told you before, test under actual working conditions takes much time. Okay. And what happens is, we don't have sufficient time maybe for producing the product, and it is time consuming. We don't have the manpower or the capital to spend for so much time for testing the product under actual working conditions. For that purpose, we are accelerating the life testing. So we are creating an environment with actual working conditions, but we are accelerating the time. Okay, maybe what happens in Kerala, there is, I have already told you, there is moisture in the atmosphere, so it may be there all the time. So it is mostly visible during the 6 months of rainfall that we obtain in Kerala. So that is a 6 month period. So instead of that, in an accelerated life testing environment, we are creating an environment with moisture, but we are not reducing the time to 6 months, but we are keeping it in a moisture condition all the time. And the product is placed, and the product under the moisture, what all changes it can happen is studied. So this is called accelerated life testing. So from the actual conditions, we are creating an environment, and we are accelerating the processes that can be uh, done in the product to observe what are the changes that occurs in the product, or if it fails. And if it fails, then we have to design another product or developments in the product, so as the product does not fail under such conditions. Okay, these are the life testing. So I'll wind up the session. Next, I'll take the attendance.